Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this turkey. He's really easy, and I think he'd be cute for like a placemat for Thanksgiving. Or he'd be a really big pot holder if you wanted to use him at that. Will actually be more decoration because there's holes in him. But if you wanted to line him or something, I guess you could. But he's pretty easy. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, for this project, I'm using Peaches and Cream, which is a 100% cotton. It's 4-ply. Oh, the color that I'm using is, this one's dark taupe. Then I got just regular red. And then I got gold. And I'm going to be using a size I, which is a 5.5mm crochet hook. And you're going to need a little set of Google Eyes, unless you want to sew your own. You can do that too. Okay, you want to start off with the slip knot on your hook. And then go ahead and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to slip stitch right back into the first stitch to form a ring. And if you wanted to use a magic circle here, that would be fine too. Now I'm going to start by chaining 1. And I'm going to go right back into the same stitch, and I'm going to do, or the same ring, I'm sorry, go right back into the ring, and I'm going to do 12 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, when you make it back around, you want to go ahead and slip stitch into your first double crochet, not that chain 1, but the double crochet, like that. And then you can pull your tail, and it'll usually close up that circle pretty much. Otherwise, you can use your yarn needle later to close it up the rest of the way. Now I'm going to start off with the chain 1, and I'm going to work right back into that exact same stitch, and I'm going to do 2 double crochets. The same stitch that we just slip stitched into. So there's 1 and 2. And now I'm going to work 2 double crochets in every single stitch all the way around. 2 doubles in the next. 2 doubles in the next. And I'm going to continue this pattern until I get back to the beginning. And when you get back around, you should have a total of 24 double crochets. Okay, when you make it back to the beginning and you counted in 24 double crochets, you want to go ahead and slip stitch into that first double, not the chain 1, but the double crochet, like that. And now we're going to start round 3 by chaining 1, and we're going to work 1 double crochet right back into that same stitch. Like that. And now I'm going to put 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So there's 1, 2. Then I'm going to put 1 double into the next, and I apologize for this dark color. And then 2 doubles into the next. What we're doing is we're just gradually increasing the circle. And then 1 double into the next, and then 2 doubles into the next. And we're just going to repeat this pattern all the way around until we get back to the beginning. And when you get back to the beginning, you should have a total of 36 double crochets. Okay, when you make it back around, and you have 36 double crochets, go ahead and slip stitch into the top of that first double, like that. And now we'll start round 4 by chaining 1 double crochet right back into that same stitch, and then we're going to put 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then the next stitch will get 2 double crochets in the same stitch. So 1 double into the next, 1 double into the next, and then 2 doubles into the next. 1, 2. So that's the repeat. 1 double into the next. 1 double into the next. And then 2 doubles into the next. And you want to repeat this all the way around until you get back to the beginning, and you should have a total of 48 double crochets at the end of row 4. Okay, once you count it and you have a total of 48 double crochets, we'll go ahead and end round 4 by slip stitching into the first double crochet. Now what we're going to do is start forming the leaves, but I'm going to do the first set in the same color. So what I'm going to do is chain 1, and I'm going to go right back into that same stitch and do a single crochet. Now I'm going to skip 1 stitch, and in the next stitch I'm going to put, all in the same stitch, I'm going to put 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets. All that goes into the same stitch, like that. And that's kind of like a point we just formed. And now what we're going to do is skip 1 stitch and single crochet into the next. Now I'm going to skip 1 stitch and form the point like we did here into the next. So skip the next, and then the next one we'll put 2 doubles. 1, 2, a chain 1, not a real tight chain 1, chain 1, and 2 more double crochets back into the same stitch. Okay, again, we're going to skip 1, and then we're going to single crochet into the next. And then we're going to skip 1, and we're going to form the point into the next. So we're going to do 2 doubles, chain 1, a loose chain 1, and then 2 more doubles, all into the same stitch. And that's kind of the repeat that we're going to do all the way around. So we're going to skip the next stitch and single crochet into the next. And then we're going to skip the next and do the point into the next, where we do 2 doubles, 1, 2, chain 1, and then 2 more doubles. So we're just going to repeat this pattern all the way around, and when you get back around you should have 12 of these little point things. Okay, I made it all the way around, and I have my 12 points, and I have 1 stitch left, so I'm going to go ahead and skip that, and I'm going to slip stitch into my first single crochet. Now what I want to do now is slip stitch over 2 more times. So I'm going to slip stitch into the next, and then slip stitch into the next. And this is where I'm going to start my new color. So instead of slip stitching all the way through with this color, I'm just going to pull my new color through here. Now you could switch colors as often as you like. That's completely up to you. But I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch my new color through right there. So we're at the one right by the chain 1 space. So what I'm going to do is I clip that brown yarn that I'm using, and I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of a loose knot in the back just so it doesn't try slipping away from me while I'm working with it. I know they say no knots in crochet, but I do. I'm just not like everybody else, I guess. So now we're going to start off by chaining 1, and we're going to work 1 double crochet right back into that same stitch, which is the one right before this chain space. So go ahead and do a double crochet right in there, just like that. And now we're where the chain space is. Now this time what we're going to do for all from here on out for all the points is we're going to put 2 double crochets, and a chain 2 instead of a chain 1, 1, 2, and then 2 more doubles right back into that same stitch. So this time we're just putting chain 2 instead of a chain 1. So it was 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles right back into that same stitch. Okay, now we want to put a double crochet into the next stitch, and sometimes you got to pull these over to see it because you don't want to miss it. It's right there. That's the first one that we go into. So just go ahead and pull them all over so you can find it like that. Now we're going to skip 3 stitches. Skip, 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 and then we're going to double crochet in the next, which is actually the one right before the next chain space. So we're going to put a double crochet in that. And then we're going to work in the space, putting 2 doubles, a chain 2, and 2 more doubles, all into the same chain space. 2 doubles. And again, you want to make sure we put 1 double on the next, and you pull these back, and you want to make sure that you're getting this double right here. You got to make sure you get this guy. He's always hidden. If you don't get him, it's not going to work out. So go ahead and put a double crochet in there, and then we're going to skip 3 stitches. Skip, skip, skip. So we're skipping a double, and then that single and that double, and putting a double crochet into the next, which is actually the double crochet right before the next chain space. And now we're going to work in the chain space, putting our point of 2 double crochet, a chain 2, and then 2 more double crochet all into that space. And again, pull these over, make sure you're getting that guy right there. Double crochet in that first one, just like that. Now we're going to skip the next 3. So we're skipping this double, this single, and this double, and we're going to put 1 double crochet into this stitch, which is the stitch right before the chain space. And then we're in the chain space now. We're going to go ahead and do our point of 2 doubles, a chain of 2, and then 2 more doubles. And then we're going to go ahead and double crochet into that first stitch right after. So pull these over and find it, and it's right here. And we're just going to repeat this pattern all the way around until we get back to the beginning. Okay, I made it back around, and I'm going to do another, we should have 12 points still. And I'm going to do another round in this color. Remember, you can switch colors as often as you like, but I'm going to do another row in this color. So I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into the first double crochet. Now every round from now on is going to be the same. We're going to slip stitch into the first double, and then we're going to slip stitch over 1 more, and that's where we're going to start every row. So I'm going to start every row by chaining 1 and going back into that same stitch and doing a double crochet. And now I'm going to put a double crochet into the next stitch. And then I'm at the chain space, so that's where I'm going to go ahead and put 2 doubles, a chain 2, and 2 doubles all into that same space. Oh. And you want to make sure you don't forget this guy right here. Sometimes you got to pull him back, but you got to go 1 double crochet in him, and then 1 double crochet into the next. And now we're going to skip these 2 stitches, the last one here and the first one here. So we're going to skip 2 and double crochet into the next, and double crochet into the next, and then I'm at my chain 2 space, so that's where I'm going to put another point. So it's going to be 2 doubles, a chain 2, and 2 more doubles like that. And now I'm going to go put a double crochet in the very first one next to it, and a double crochet into the next. And then you want to skip skip 2, so it's the last one here and the first one here, and go ahead and double crochet into the next one like that, and double crochet into the next. And again, we're at the point, that's where we do 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles all into that chain space. And then again, get this next one right here, double crochet in the next. And then we always skip the last one and the first one of the next one, and then we start again. So I'm gonna repeat this all the way around, and I'm gonna switch colors on the next round. So I'll meet back up with you when I get back to the beginning. Okay, now that you made it around, you'll have this last one to skip here, and then the first one here that we kind of slip stitch over to. We skip that. Now we're just going to go ahead and double crochet into our first slip stitch into our first double crochet. This is how we start every round. And again, we start by slip stitching over one more time. And now I'm going to switch colors here. So during this slip stitch is where I'm going to during this slip stitch is where I'm going to change color. So I'm going to go through, and then I'm going to pull through my new color. Remember, every row from now on is going to be the same, just like we're doing. And now I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to make a little bit of I clipped off my yellow, and I'm going to make a little bit of a knot here. Breaking the rules, but I'm going to do it. There we go. And now I'm going to start again by chaining 1 and double crocheting right back into that same stitch. Just like that. Now, as you can see, it's going to be the same as the last round, but each round it's going to grow a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and double crochet into the next stitch and into the next stitch. And now I'm at my point, and I'm going to put 2 double crochets, my chain 2, and then 2 more double crochets into that stitch, or all into that chain space. And then I'm going to make sure I get the first one and double crochet into that one, and double crochet into the next, and double crochet into the next. So each round it gets 1 more double crochet on each side of the point. And we always skip the last double crochet of this point and the first double crochet of this point, and then we go to the next one and we start again. So it's really easy pattern to follow. So just double crochet in every stitch up until you get to the chain 2 space, and then that's where you do your 2 doubles. Chain 2 and 2 more doubles, just like that. And then we 1 double crochet in every stitch all the way down this side until we get to the last one, and that one we skip this one every time, the last one here, the first one here, and we start again in the next one. So I'm just going to repeat this pattern all the way around, and I'm actually going to do 3 rows, I think, of the red color, but you do whatever color sequence you want. You can switch colors as often as you like, or you can make them all one solid color. It's completely up to you. He's your turkey, however you want to do it. But I think I'll probably do 3 rows of thread. So when you get back around to the beginning, remember, you slip stitch into your first double crochet and you slip stitch over one more time, and that's where you start again. And you'll have one more double crochet on each side every row. And you always skip the last stitch and the first stitch on this side. So it's real easy. So I'm going to keep going till I get my 3 rows of red done. Okay, I went ahead and did my 3 rows of red. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a row of single crochet. If you want to make him bigger, you can do his feathers, as many rows as you want, you know. He's kind of big now for a pot holder. If you want to make him a placemat or whatever you want to make him. Just some kind of decoration, or something, some type of hot pad, but that's what I'm making. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to change colors again. So I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into my first double crochet. And again, I'm going to slip stitch over to the next stitch like we've been doing, but I'm going to switch colors this time. And I'm going to pull my brown back through like that. I'm going to flip it over, tie a knot. Okay, now I'm going to start off by chaining 1, and I'm going to go right back into that same stitch and single crochet this time. And now I'm going to single crochet in every stitch until I get up to the point. And when I make it to the chain 2 space, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put 4 single crochets right through the space. Just 3 and 4, and you can kind of pull them over, and don't forget to get the first one here and start single crocheting down again until you get to your last stitch. Okay, now before we would skip these 2, this time I'm going to single crochet them together. So I'm going to go into that last stitch and I'm going to draw up a loop, and now I'm going to go into the next one and draw up a loop, and I'm going to yarn over and go through all 3 loops. So I think that was a single crochet 2 together. So now I'm going to work my way back up, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get up to the point again, or the chain 2 space. And I'm going to put 4 single crochets through the space. It's 2, 3, 4, and you can kind of slide them over, and make sure you get this one as your first one going down. Work your way back down till you get to the last stitch. And when you get to the last stitch, in the first stitch here, you single crochet them together. So you go in to the last one, drop a loop, go into the first one, on the next set, drop a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3. And now I'm just going to repeat this pattern all the way around until I get back to the beginning. Four right here in the space. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slide them over so you can see that first one, and then start back down again till you get to your last one. I know you look a giant now, but he'll look better when we fold him in half. Okay, and now you want to single crochet. So I'm at the last stitch, go in, drop a loop, and then the first stitch on this set, drop a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 loops. So go ahead and repeat this all the way around until you get back to the beginning. Okay, I made it all the way around, and I just did where I single crocheted 2 together there, and now I'm just going to go ahead and slip stitch into my first single crochet, and now I'm going to tie this off, and I'm going to clip the yarn. And now what I'm going to do is slip stitch it together. If you wanted to sew it together, you could too, that would be fine. Now what you want to do is fold it in half. So you'll have 6 of the points on each side. You want to get it all lined up, and I'm going to use the same color of yarn here that I brown. You just slip stitch it together, and I'm going to kind of start down here in the corner somewhere, so my seam's not so noticeable. Okay, so you want to make sure you get it all lined up, and I'm going to start right down here in the corner. And I'm going to grab a stitch, and the same stitch on the opposite side. And I'm going to pull through, and I'm going to chain 1. Now I'm going to go into the next stitch here, and the next stitch on the opposite side, and slip stitch. And then the next stitch on this side, and the next stitch on the back side, and slip stitch. And the next stitch on the back side, and slip stitch. Basically though, you just want to make sure you're keeping them the same stitches, you're going through the same stitches on each side. That way they stay lined up. And the next stitch here, the next stitch here, slip stitch. And I'm going to do this all the way around my whole piece until these all slip stitched together. Now, like I said, if you want to use a yarn needle, you can do that. I sometimes do that, quite often actually, but I just decided to go ahead and slip stitch it together this time. I don't even know why, but so just like that. And that's what it starts to look like. So I'm going to do that all the way around until I get over here to the other side. Okay, once you make it all the way to the end, you just want to clip your yarn and tie that off, and then you can hide the tails. So now we all sewed together, and let's make him a head. So I'm going to set this to the side for now, and we'll make him a little round head. I'm going to use the brown again. And I'm going to start off with a chain of 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch to form a ring, kind of like we did his body. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to work 12 double crochets through the center of the ring. So there's 1, 2, oops, 3, 4. Okay, once you get 12, we're going to go ahead and slip stitch into the first double crochet, not that chain 1, but the double crochet. And then you can pull your tail to make that smaller, and then sew it up the rest of the way at the end. Now we're going to start off with the chain 1, and I'm going to work 2 double crochets right back into that exact same stitch. So there's 1 and 2, and now I'm going to work 2 double crochets in every stitch all the way around. And when you get back around, you should have a total of 24 double crochets. Okay, when you make it back around, you just want to go ahead and slip stitch into your first double crochet again. And then you can tie this off, but you want to leave a long tail to sew it on with here in just a little bit. And if you want to make his head bigger, you can. Just hold it up to it if you think he should have a bigger head, or whatever you think. It's completely up to you. But I'm going to stop right there. I think That's probably good enough for mine, but like I said, whatever you want to do. Okay. Okay, I'm going to set his head to the side, and I'm going to make a beak. So I'm going to start with a slip knot with my yellow. I'm going to leave a long tail for sewing. And I'm going to do a chain of 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I'm going to do is single crochet in the second stitch from the hook. And then I'm going to half double crochet in the next stitch. And then I'm going to double crochet into the last stitch. Just like that. And I'm going to tie that off. And then that is going to be his beak, which we can sew it on here in a minute. You can sew it on now if you want with your yarn needle. I'm going to make a little, so I'll just set it up here so we can see kind of what it's going to look like for now, until I sew it all on. And I got Google eyes. You can make your own eyes if you want, but now I'm going to make this little red. I don't even know what that thing's called. If anybody knows, you can tell me in the comments. I don't even know what it's called. It's a little neck piece, I guess. So I'm going to do that in red. And I'm going to start with a slip knot. Okay, so I'm going to start with a chain of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to do a half double crochet in the third stitch from the hook, half double. And I'm going to do a half double crochet in the same stitch again. So it's 2 half double crochets in that same stitch, like that. And I'm going to do a half double crochet in the next stitch, like that. And I'm going to do a half double crochet in that same stitch again. So 2 half double crochets in that same stitch. And now I'm going to do a single crochet into the next stitch. And a single crochet into the next stitch. And then I'm going to have 2 stitches left, and I'm going to slip stitch in the last 2 stitches. So there's 1 slip stitch and 2 slip stitches. I don't know if that looks okay to you. I kind of just made that up, so if you want to make it a little bit different, you can. Just leave a long tail for sewing also. That. And you know, that little thing on here. A little neck thing. Okay, well, we'll get it all sewed up. So I'm going to go ahead and move these eyes off real quick. And I'm going to sew on the beak before I sew the head on. So with my yarn needle, I'm just going to put where I want it, right about here in the center. And I'm just going to sew it on neatly. Just like this. Oh, sorry, I moved my camera. But just get it sewed on nice and neat, so it ain't gonna come off. And then back up here. And then you want to hide the tail, and then I'll have to hide this other tail too here. So like that. Make sure it's all nice and straight. So I'm going to go ahead and hide these tails real quick. Okay, now I'm going to sew on his head right here in the center. And you can sew it on wherever you think's best, but and I'm just going to sew it on neatly. Not like that. Try that again. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to sew his head on, try it again, pretend like I just didn't do that a while ago. I'm going to grab the underneath like this and sew it on this one layer, just kind of back and forth. Just as neatly as you can, all the way around, just to get it on straight and nice and tight so it ain't going to come off. Back up. It's like that. So I'm going to do that all the way around. And just go through and grab one of these underneath stitches a little bit. And then come back up through the next stitch. Like that. Go to the next one, grab one of them stitches underneath just to hook it to it, come back up, go to the next stitch, and I'm just grabbing like one of these little underneath stitches a little bit, and then I'm coming back up through the next stitch of my headpiece, like that. But you can sew it on any way that works best for you, just so it's nice on there, nice and tight. Okay, I got his head on. Now for this little red thing, not that I don't know what it's called, we'll sew it on, and you can sew it on either side that you want. I like to take the string that is on the side of the hole, and as I'm hiding it in the back, I kind of just weave it in to close up that hole too. As I'm weaving it, I'm just sewing that little gap together. I'm getting all tangled up. But just something like that, it kind of sews up that little hole a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to take the other one and I'm going to sew it on with that one. So I'm going to clip that yarn off. You load up my yarn tail here on my needle. And I'll probably just sew it right, kind of like right here, I guess. Wherever you want to sew it. I guess I could have sewed it on before, but I think it goes up by his beak, so. Kind of like that, I guess. Would have been easier to sew it on his head first, but I'm just going to kind of sew it the same way I did the head. Just grab a little stitch, pull it through. I'm going to do it all the way down until he's sewed on. So you kind of get the idea. Just get it sewed on there nice and tight, like that. Okay, now what I'm going to do with a low heat hot glue gun is that I'm going to hot glue these eyes on, and he's done. You can make your own eyes if you want, but with some yarn and sew them on, but that's completely up to you. But that's all there is to it. You can use it as a pot holder, or I think you make a neat placemat actually for Thanksgiving. But that's it. That's all there is to it. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. It's pretty easy. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to check me out on Facebook. I'll put a link to that below in the description box. And until next time, have a good day.